The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of DigiYall. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to DigiYall Tech News. Today is Sunday, May 17th, 2026. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. New labor data shows US jobs in AI-exposed roles shrinking even as overall employment still grew. At Yale, seniors are entering a job market where AI experience is becoming a routine entry-level question. OpenAI and Malta are testing a national model for AI literacy by offering ChatGPT Plus after a required course. Seth Rogen says that if your first instinct is to use AI to write scripts, you probably should not be a writer. Steven Soderbergh used disclosed AI imagery in a John Lennon documentary, and the backlash at Cannes was immediate. Let's start with the labor market signal everyone wants to interpret carefully. The Bureau of Labor Statistics' latest occupational employment release shows that 18 occupations considered exposed to AI, representing about 10 million US jobs, declined by 0.2% between May 2024 and May 2025. Overall, US employment rose 0.8% over the same period. Customer service representatives saw the largest absolute drop, with 130,180 fewer positions, a decline of 4.8%. Secretaries and administrative assistants outside medical, legal, and executive roles also fell, as did wholesale and manufacturing sales representatives. That matters because this is the second consecutive year of heavy losses in these categories, and it puts real pressure on companies to retrain or redeploy people in customer-facing and administrative work. At the same time, the data tracks net job change, not proof of direct replacement. AI may be part of the pressure, but so can attrition, hiring freezes, older automation tools, and broader economic anxiety. The signal is real. The clean explanation is not. At Yale, the AI story is less about immediate collapse and more about a new baseline for employability. The Yale Daily News reports that more than 54% of the class of 2026 is entering the workforce right after graduation, based on an independent April survey of 171 seniors. Janine Dames, who leads Yale's Office of Career Strategy, said employers now regularly ask candidates about AI experience, and she pointed to a May 2026 report from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, showing demand for AI skills in entry-level roles has more than doubled in 6 months. The interesting part is that Yale says outcomes are still steady. 62% of the class has responded to its annual postgraduate survey, and the office does not see evidence that AI is reducing hiring volume. In practical terms, this makes AI fluency feel less like a niche technical bonus, and more like knowing how to use a spreadsheet used to be. Not the whole job, but increasingly part of the job. The students' reactions are mixed, from seeing productivity potential to refusing to use AI, even for resumes. For now, this is an early snapshot, and the real test is what happens once these graduates are inside teams where the tools are already everywhere. Now, this is where AI policy gets very practical. OpenAI and Malta have announced what they describe as a world-first national partnership. Every eligible Maltese citizen who completes a new University of Malta AI literacy course can receive 1 free year of ChatGPT Plus. The first phase starts in May 2026, with the Malta Digital Innovation Authority handling distribution, and the plan is to expand later to more residents and citizens living abroad. The course is meant to cover what AI can and cannot do, and how to use it responsibly at home and at work. That matters because Malta is not just subsidizing access to a frontier model, it is tying access to basic public education around the tool. OpenAI's George Osborne framed intelligence as becoming a national utility, while Malta's Economy Minister, Silvio Scembri, emphasized practical help for families, students, and workers. My question is how this will be measured after the launch. Participation, privacy, oversight, and long-term funding are the pieces that will decide whether this becomes sustained public capacity or just a very visible one-year adoption spike. From public policy to Hollywood, Seth Rogen is drawing a much harder line. In an interview with Brut published during the 2026 Cannes Film Festival, Rogen said that if someone's first instinct is to use AI for script writing, they should not be a writer and should go do something else. His argument is not mainly technical, it is about desire and process. He said he enjoys the full act of writing, and that a tool designed to reduce his involvement is unappealing because, in his view, bypassing the work means you are not writing. The comments land in an industry already trying to define limits around AI, including updated Academy rules restricting AI-assisted performances from Oscar eligibility. The bigger issue is whether efficiency tools change the craft itself, not just the workflow around it. Rogen is not trying to settle the entire industry debate with numbers. He is giving voice to a creative instinct. If the process is the part you want to skip, then the question is not just what the tool can do, it is whether you actually want to do the work. And Cannes gave us the other side of that debate, not total rejection, but limited disclosed use. Steven Soderbergh directed John Lennon, The Last Interview, a documentary built around surviving 2-hour audio tapes from Lennon and Yoko Ono's December 8, 1980 interview at the Dakota Apartments in New York. The film premiered at Cannes on May 16, 2026. After conventional visualization options ran out for about 10% of the more philosophical sections, Soderbergh used Meta's AI software to generate imagery, including circles of light and a black rose transforming into a Busby Berkeley-style sequence, and then a red rose. Critics at Cannes reacted harshly, with the AI portions described as banal. What makes this interesting is Soderbergh's transparency. He says the tool should be necessary and optimal for the vision, not a shortcut. And he argues key creative jobs cannot simply be replaced by AI. The unresolved question is exactly where the ethical line sits. Is a small, disclosed use after time and money run out an acceptable experiment? Or does it normalize a tool many artists still see as a threat? For now, this works less like a template for the whole industry, and more like a boundary test everyone can see. Today, the through line is AI, moving from novelty into institutions, labor statistics, college hiring, national policy, and the creative industries. The useful question is no longer whether AI is present. It is who controls the terms of adoption, what evidence supports the claims being made, and which human skills become more valuable when the tools are everywhere. Thank you for staying informed with Digital Tech News. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.